student, and welcome back to my class. You know that I am Ali Nisan, teacher and junior lecturer of Alipat High School and Junior College. So in today's class we will discuss about the chapter 20 that is related to the social studies second paper, and chapter name is social movements in our times. Here first we will discuss about the background here. During the first half of the 20th century, here the world was dominated by the great wars, revolutions and the emergencies of the German fascism and the Soviet socialism and Western liberalism and national liberation movements, etc. are there. With the end of the Second World War, here the independence of colonies and the semi-colonies like India, China, Indonesia, Nigeria and Egypt by middle of 1950s here. So here a new era began in the world. This was an era of the economic growth and for most of the countries here, but also of the growing tensions in many countries. So here the sections of the societies which had a long denied the equal rights here come out as the asserting their rights here. So we will discuss about the civil rights and the other movements in 1960s. So here one of the most important movements was the American Civil Rights Movement, and it fought for the equal treatment of the Afro-Americans or the Black Americans and against the rules of the permitted segregations of the black and whites in schools, buses and the public places, and discriminated against them in the opportunities and the appointments and the housing and even in the voting rights here. So this movement reached its height during the 1960s period here. So it was largely the non-violent and that took the form of the massive demonstrations and the marches and the civil disobedience here and the boycott of the discriminatory services. And here one of the most important action was the year along the boycott of buses by Black in. So here led by the Dr. Martin Luther King here. This caused a huge loss to the buses company and eventually forced the court to ban the segregations of the seats for the black and whites in buses in 1956. So here at the same time here a powerful movement was going on for the ending of the segregation in schools also, and had to go the different schools here. So on 28th August in 1963 here the more than 2 lakh people marched to the Washington demanding that the passage of the Civil Rights Act and the demanding among the other things like the program for the generation of employment and full and fair employment and the decent housing and a right to vote and adequately integrated the education system in which the whites and the blacks could study together. So this was the addressed among the others by the Dr. King, who made the historic speech that I have a dream that these laws were the subsequently passed, and after a long time struggle many of them got the effectively implemented here, and this became an inspirational all over the world for leading the non-violent and the social movements for reform and change. After this here the human rights movement in USSR here. In those days here the USSR and the countries of the Eastern European which were within the sphere of influence of the USSR had a government which did not allow the free multi-party elections and free uncensored press or media and even freedom of the expression or the movement for the ordinary people also. So these governments were constantly under the fear of consequences and to disable them to keep the close control over all the activities of the people here. So as the people grew tired of such controls, here the many movements for the human rights and the freedom of expressions and the freedom and free press took place in the different parts of USSR here and different parts of USSR and the Eastern Europe. So in countries like the Hungary and the Poland, this also took a form of the demand for freedom from the control of USSR over them. So here some of these movements also received the support from the anti-communist countries including the USA and UK here. So after this now the anti-nuclear and anti-war movements. So here the 1970s and 1980s saw a new kind of the movement and the movement against the war and nuclear war here. Here the entire world was witness to the horrors of the nuclear bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August in 1945 exactly. So here leading superpowers like the USA and USSR, Britain and France began building an arsenal of the nuclear weapons and justifying them as the mean of deterring the other others' powers from using them. So here those were the days of the intensive Cold War between the USA and USSR, and here the America's war with the Vietnam. So entire world was constantly under the fear of the another world war here. So it was feared that if a war broke out and the nuclear weapons were used, then the entire mankind would be wiped out this earth. So here the thousands of the scientists and the intellectuals from across the world here campaigned for the abolishing of all the nuclear weapons, and then instead that the USA and USSR come to an agreement and end the fertile arms race here. Here the USA and the USSR, the main competitors in the arms race, have begun to talk to cut down their nuclear arsenal powers. So here the strategic arms limitation talk, that is SALT, which however was unsuccessful. Finally a treaty was signed in 1991 which called as the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, that is START. So here the reduction treaty, that is START, negotiate the large and the most complex arms control treaty in the history, and its final implementation in the late 2001 and resulted in the removal of about the 80% of all the strategic nuclear weapons then in existence. So here a little hole after the signing of the treaty, the USSR was dissolved and its place in new Russian state was formed. So here with this ended a long period of the Cold War and the constant threat of a catastrophic world war. So this did not however mean the end of the war or the violence between the countries, as we have the witnessed the disastrous wars in Eastern Europe, Iraq and Afghanistan. Exactly. So after this, now we will see about the globalization and the marginalized people and the environmental movements here. In this, the economic and the political changes happening in the worldwide since the 1990s, so which go by the name of the globalization and the new liberalism. It have a deeply impacted the lives of the underprivileged and the poor tribal peoples and the poor farmers and the landless workers and the women and the urban poor working in the unorganized sectors and in industrial workers have been the worst hit. So by and large, these are also the people without access to the formal education or to educate nutrition and health also. So they had no access to better the paying jobs or to legal or to other constitutional remedies here. So here during the last few decades here, the tribal and the marginal farmers have also been treated by the commercial farmers and the mining corporations and the dam projects, etc. So as the large companies find the rare resource in remote to the rural areas like minerals and the rare plants and animals and water also. So they have been a rapid increase in the outing of the farming and the tribal population from their traditional areas. So here this resulted in the depression of the communities into a new areas and the restrictions of the tribal rules and cultures also. Exactly. So they have been reduced to being the most vulnerable sections of the society here, along with the process of development have the severely threatened the natural resources cases and giving the environmental movements that seeks to combine the voice of the marginalized with the anger over the destructive and the violent nature of these development forces. Get it here. Now we will see the environmental movements here. Here in this environmental movements started in our country too in 1970s as the grassroots of the movements for the protection of the natural forest. So one such movements was the Chipko movement and the movements against the dam of the Narmada river and the movements of women for the social justice and human rights also. So here the unequal treatment of the women and the struggle of the being waged by them for the equal rights and the opportunities, here the personal safety and justice also. So here women have been at the forefront of many important social movements in the recent past. Exactly. So here the two specific example to understand this better, that is the anti-Iraq movement of the Andhra Pradesh and the movement of the Manipuri women against special powers for the armed forces. which had been misused against the people of the northeastern states, and the story of the Adavallu Ekamite here, and here the social mobilization of the human rights also there. Here how the women of the Manipur in the northeastern India fought against some law which allow the armed force to suppress the people without any process of the judicial revive for their actions. So here the few articles from the human rights are that the human rights that should be available to all the people here. Now the historic context here. Here the Manipur today is the composed of the two distinctive geographical trends here. So that is the valley and the hills. Here before independence the valley was under the princely rule and the hills were in the relatively autonomous. So here the mainly inhabited by the tribal population here. In 1891, here the British established their control over the region, though the king continued to rule in the kingdom. So here the kingdom of the Manipur signed the marriage agreement with the India in 1949, that the Manipur was made a part of India, but this agreement was disputed by many tribes which that they have been the autonomous and did not agree to be a part of India here. Now the Merapapi movement here. Here the Merapapi movement literally can be translated as the torch barriers. Here the Merapapi originated as a movement to prevent the public disorder due to the alcohol abuse in the late 1970s. So here it soon became a movement for the human rights with the massive development of India armed forces to counter the armed movement here. For Manipur independence in early 1980s, here it was also a time when the state was declared as the disturbed area. So here the sweeping powers in the name of AFSPA were given to the Indian Armed Force. Here this resulted in the frequently military operations and the human rights violation here. So here in this Merapapi movement, and it responded instantly with the protest of the demonstrations, and the Merapapi took a patrolling the street nights, and the women of every lakai or a ward of every town and village participated in the daily patrolling and the bearing to the weapons, not only the bamboos and the rack kerosene torches every night at every lane junctions, and the group of the women sat and the vigil against the threats and the disruptions of the peace in the community. So during this period of the relative peace, here a few women would keep the vigil talking turns, and but during the movements of the high tension and the participation is more widespread. So these are the not activists or politically inclined women. They are the ordinary women who take themselves the traditional responsibilities for the safety and well-being of the community here. So this Merapapi group has also been demanding that the AFSPA be revoked, and the movement against this act has grown in the strength, and women have expressed their struggle in different forms, from the boycott of elections to sitting on the relay hunger strikes. Here one among them is the Aram Sharmila, was on hunger strike for more than 10 years here, was under the house arrest. So after this, now we will see some common features across the social movements. Here in this, the social movements have arised the diverse demands and the cutting across the strict boundary of environment or the human rights. So here their arguments borrow from these different principles, and movements arrested the changes that the force upon them. Others like the distance themselves from the individual political parties and are other united under a single care or single cause here. So it remembers may be along to the different political parties. Often their programs are invested in a participatory democratic manner here. So here the social movements arise when the people of a region of a cause feel that their expectations have been untapped by the larger political system that is prevalent in a country. Exactly. So by these common features and across social movements, we have completed our chapter 20, that is social movements in our times. Thank you.